Will Ospreay returns at New Japan Resurgence. Ric Flair appears at Triplemania 29. CM Punk's AEW debut is referenced during an NFL game. Two major stars missed last night's WWE live event. And Nikki Bella back for SummerSlam. This is the news. This is the solo Sunday news for myself, Andrew Pollard, here at What Culture Wrestling. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. It's Sunday morning. We're here to talk wrestling. I'm very happy because I got to see my first football game in 18 months yesterday. My little team Wrexham winning 3-1 in a friendly. Good times. It's a good time, man. And the good times are rolling for Will Ospreay fans. There we go. That's a segue. Because Will Ospreay returned yesterday, last night, this morning. Depending what time zone you're in, he returned on Saturday's New Japan Pro Wrestling Resurgence show. And Will Ospreay, the former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, or maybe current, because he pulled the old Ric Flair Real Wars Champion card, turned up with his title belt that he was forced to vacate in May after he suffered a neck injury. Shingo Takagi then has since become he is the current official IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, although Will Ospreay said that should be interim, and he pulled out his belt, and basically called out everybody. I'm sure there's a Samoa Joe name drop in there, I think. It called out the dweebs in AEW, called out Shingo, and pretty much anybody he could think of, saying how nobody had beat him, nobody submitted. Called out Jon Moxley because he highlighted how when Mox was unable to travel to Japan for basically a year as the IWGP United States champion, nobody made him vacate the belt. So Will Ospreay he's put a whole load of people in his crosshairs, and he also, most importantly as well, he announced that he is cleared to wrestle, which when you think this dude basically broke his neck in May, which is 5 months, do some maths, which is 3 months ago. It's Sunday. So it's nuts to see that Will Ospreay is back, is cleared, has a whole bunch of people in his sights, and also specified that he will not be in the G1 Climax, that he will not be returned to Japan for the foreseeable future, and that he will instead be exclusive to I didn't say exclusive, that's just me throwing it in there. He'll be performing for New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong, which is out of Los Angeles, which you can find available to watch each week. And Strong has had some amazing matches on there over the last, I guess, year. Wheeler Yuta, there's some really good matches from him on there, who now is in AEW. And we may get Will Ospreay in AEW by the sounds of it, because, like I said, the dweebs in AEW, Jon Moxley needs an opponent for All Out as it stands. Will Ospreay? Crazier things could happen. And crazy things happened at Triplemania. Ric Flair, who was released by WWE, 10 days ago, I think, as of this recording. It's hard to keep track because there's so many releases. It's like, when did Flair go? Was it either way, Ric Flair, released by WWE recently, and he turned up at AAA's Triplemania 29 last night in the corner of Andrade El Idolo. Andrade was challenging Kenny Omega for the AAA Mega Championship, of course, a match that he did lose. Now, that was because of shenanigans, shall we say. Now, Flair was brought out as Andrade's second, which was really cool. We had lots of strutting, there was lots of wooing. It was standard Ric Flair stuff. And then, as the match went on, Flair got physical. Now, this is a Ric Flair who is 71 years of age, who recent rumors that Flair may want to wrestle again at 71. It's like, Nature Boy, we love you, but you don't need to get into the ring, brother. But he did get physical at Triplemania, chopped Kenny Omega, put Conan in the figure four, and lots and lots of woos. So, Ric Flair turned up. Andrade did lose. There was a distraction from Conan, allowed Kenny Omega to hit Andrade with the belt, as we've seen several times in Omega matches lately. And then he hit the one winged angel for the win. So Ric Flair, Triplemania, and that Ric Flair AEW working arrangement seems to be edging ever closer. And I mean, if he's going to be with Andrade, who is, of course, I believe they're engaged. But anyway, he's the partner of Charlotte Flair, Ashley Flair, Ric Flair's daughter. So there's a natural connection there, and maybe we see Flair and Andrade in AEW. I'd be very cool with that. Moving on to CM Punk. Speaking of people who may be about to become #All Elite, CM Punk was name dropped during an NFL preseason game yesterday. Now, I need to look at my notes here because I am not the most well versed in the NFL. I will have to happily admit. It was during a preseason game between the Chicago Bears and Miami Dolphins. The NFL Network's Adam Rank compared the rookie Justin Fields' NFL debut to the rumored AEW debut of CM Punk. As Adam Rank said, I think that this was the most anticipated debut in Chicago until Friday, when presumably CM Punk shows up on AEW. Now, of course, this coming Friday is the second episode of AEW Rampage, which just so happens to be from Chicago's United Center, which just so happens to have sold a whole load of tickets. I couldn't even tell you the final figure. I think it was like I don't know, 10,000 in like the first day or 10,000 for the pre-order. Either way, it's going to be a massively packed house in Chicago in the United Center. And we are all, I guess I'm repping here, unintentionally repping my CM Punk t-shirt. But yeah, we're all fingers crossed that CM Punk is, I say all, there's always going to be some that aren't, but most people are kind of hoping that CM Punk struts up in Chicago on Friday. And all signs seem to point to that. And it's a mad time to be a wrestling fan, man. Ric Flair turning up in Mexico for Triplemania, for AAA, and chopping Kenny Omega. CM Punk going to AEW, Bryan Danielson maybe going to AEW. It's a mad old time. And also last night there was a WWE live event where two major stars were missing due to unforeseen circumstances, was the quote that was given to the crowd in Charlotte, North Carolina. The two in question: SmackDown Women's Champion Bianca Belair and also Sasha Banks. So those two were due to wrestle each other at this show in Charlotte. And yeah, it was announced to the live crowd that, sorry, unforeseen circumstances, these gals are not here. So it's not been, there's been no follow-up on this as to why Banks and Belair were missing the show, but hopefully it's nothing too serious and everything will be okay for SummerSlam, because next weekend is SummerSlam, where Sasha Banks will challenge Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's Championship in a rematch from WrestleMania 37. And if it's anything close to as good as that Mania 37 match, we should be in for a treat on that. But speaking of SummerSlam, and one person who may be there is Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella taking it to Twitter, saying that she's looking through her closet and deciding what to wear for SummerSlam. So Nikki Bella is seemingly going to be at SummerSlam. Is she going to be involved in any sort of on-screen role? Is she there merely just to see friends? Is she going to be in the crowd watching matches? Probably not that bit. Is she going to get physical? Because we've heard for what feels like forever that both Bella twins, Nikki and Brie, have been weighing up WWE returns. They've both talked openly about wanting to go for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Or maybe Nikki wants to go solo again. I don't know. But either way, Nikki Bella seemingly is going to be in attendance for next weekend SummerSlam. The last time we saw her, of course, was at WrestleMania 37, where she laid out Bayley. Now, obviously there's a natural story there you could do, but unfortunately Bayley is on the shelf, which is such tragic news, man. As one of the staples of the Thunderdome era, one of the stars of that, one of the people who carried the company on the back, for Bayley to be out now, there's fans back. That just still such a blow for her and for wrestling fans, obviously. To wrap things up on this hopefully relatively quick edition of the Sunday Solo News, there's a question that came in on Twitter from Mark Solid. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Sorry, Mark. He's put, morning, homie. If you could pick two AEW stars to eventually have a match and do a double turn in it, who would you pick? I'd pick Sammy versus Starks. Sammy Guevara, Ricky Starks as a double turn. For me, that could be done excellently. I think Ricky Starks is, it's almost lazy by now to make that young Rock comparison, where you can see that he's going to turn babyface at some point and he's going to be huge, which is awesome. Such a nice fella, such a great talent, such a charismatic fella. Go back to when I first saw him in the NWA, and it's like in the second episode of Power, he turned up and it's like, oh wow, who's this guy? Straight away. But if I was looking outside of Ricky Starks and Sammy Guevara, for me, Cody and Miro. There we go. That's probably going to be my pick. I think it has to be Cody. I think already we're seeing that there's some AEW fans who it's not necessarily the most favorable reaction to Cody all the time he's out there. And so I think Cody's a natural babyface that could easily be turned heel. As in, he's not a natural, well, maybe he's a natural babyface, but he's the natural choice if you're going to turn a babyface heel, because there's so much there to work with already. There's the rumblings of discontent amongst the elite, amongst the EVPs, whether that's true or not, whether that's just internet rumblings, but Cody addressed it himself on Dynamite a couple of weeks ago. So there's lots of little nuggets you could play on, but you could do Cody and Ricky Starks, that could be your turn. Cody and Hobbs, Cody and Team Taz, full stop, why not? Cody and MJF, but I don't, I think MJF, you want to keep him as that heel in the Pinnacle for a fair while. But I would go Cody and Miro if I was doing a double turn. So thanks for that question, Mark. Hopefully that's a decent enough answer. Hopefully this has been a fun news for you. Leave your comments below. Make them nice. It's Sunday. Be kind. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Be sure to follow us at What Culture WWE on Twitter. Follow me at Cultured Left Peg if you want on Twitter. It might be fun. It might not be. Either way, I have been Andrew Pollard. This has been the Sunday News. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you soon.